After a thorough and thoughtful and faith-filled search, we have identified our next pastor here at St. Philip the Deacon. In today's episode, I want to talk about that. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here, Senior Pastor of St. Philip the Deacon in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. Good to be with you as always. We have spent a handful of episodes in the last month or so talking about some openings, some transitions that are happening here at St. Philip the Deacon. It's been a very busy early part of the summer and an exciting one. And today, I am excited to announce and delighted to announce that we are preparing to call our next pastor to St. Philip the Deacon. Her name is Makayla Dahleen, and earlier this week, the St. Philip the Deacon Church Council voted unanimously to forward her name to the congregation for a congregational vote. That was after the executive team and staff had met with Makayla and her husband, Jacob. Earlier in the month, she and Jacob and their 6-month-old son, Simon, were up here from Illinois. I'll say more about that in a second, for 3 or 4 days so that she could get to know us, we could get to know her, and it was clear after that visit that there was an incredible sense of call on both sides, that there was an incredible cultural fit, and I cannot tell you how excited I am that she'll be joining our staff as our next pastor. We'll include a link to the letter from me to the congregation announcing this congregational vote, which, by the way, will be the weekend of July 13th and 14th. So it'll be a rolling congregational meeting. This is how we've done this in the past, where at the end of every worship service, we'll spend just a few minutes with Heather Larson, our council president, convening the meeting. And we'll invite members of the church to cast a ballot to approve the call of Pastor Dahleen. And she would then start, we're still figuring out the precise timing, but they'd likely be up here in late August, and she would begin her ministry here in early September. Makayla is from Wisconsin originally. She went to Luther College in Iowa and then did her seminary training in Chicago at Lutheran School of Theology at Chicago. She did her internship at a very large Lutheran church, not unlike St. Philip the Deacon, actually, outside of Denver. And for the last 4 years or so, she has been the solo pastor at a church in Sterling, Illinois. She is incredibly talented. The search that we did was exhaustive and thorough and faithful. We talked to a number of outstanding candidates, but Makayla very quickly rose to the top of those candidates. And as I say, when she was up here in early June for 3 or 4 days, it was very evident to everyone on staff and to the executive team that she would be a wonderful fit for us here at St. Philip the Deacon, and she ended up feeling the same way. And again, the announcement that we'll link to has a quote from her. It has a quote from our president, Heather, and again, I can't say enough good things about her. Before she came and visited, I had already been in touch with her by Zoom more than a few times, and by phone calls, she had talked to Pastor Mark and Pastor Valerie, as well as some other folks on staff. And so coming up here was sort of an opportunity just to confirm our instinct by having her meet with the entire staff and, as I say, the entire executive team, which served as our call committee. Pastor Dahleen will serve in the role of pastor of family life. So she'll be a pastor here, just like the other 3 pastors who are already here, me and Mark and Valerie. She'll preach, she'll lead worship, she will baptize, she will do funerals and weddings and pastoral care, all of the stuff that pastors do, but her particular emphasis will be on children and families, and not just building up faith among children, but helping families to grow in their faith and make connections with one another. And that leaves open the opportunity here at St. Philip the Deacon for us to continue to invest and expand our adult education offering. And so very shortly, this summer is going to be filled with these kind of announcements, which is very exciting. We will announce a brand new role for our staff, namely our first ever Director of adult education. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, though, so I want to focus today on Pastor Dahleen, and we'll talk about that later. But I just want you to know, even as we prepare to call her, that we are also fully planning to expand our adult education offerings in some really significant and important ways. I guess I'll close with this. I have said this now repeatedly in a lot of contexts, and I'll repeat it here. I've been here at St. Philip the Deacon for 17 years. It has been a gift and a blessing to serve as the senior pastor for the last decade, and before that, the executive pastor for 7 years. From the day I came here, I fell in love with this congregation, and I remain fully involved in it and fully in love with it, and I'm delighted to be here. I will tell you, though, I have never, in all of those years, in all 17 of those years, been as excited as I am right now for what God is doing as we look to the future. And I'm delighted that those of you paying attention to this are part of that, whether you're nearby and with us in person or whether you are participating with us digitally. You are absolutely part of that hope-filled and exciting future. And with you, I look forward to where God is leading us. And again, a special welcome today to Pastor Dahleen. Please be sure to join us again the weekend of July 13th and 14th to vote for her as our next pastor. Thanks for being with me, and as always, be well, stay in touch, and God bless.